Hey guys, today we are wrapping up this awful series on sin. Just kidding, Daniel, it's been a great series. But here's the truth. We're all sinners. That's what we learned in week 1. We're all doomed. Hey, but don't feel bad. We're all in this together, right? In week 2, we learned that we fail. We fail a lot, but it can be good for us to fail. And there's other good news too. There's always good news for Christians. We're forgiven because of what Jesus did for us. And we can confess our sins and forgive ourselves. So if you haven't been to confession yet, there's still time. Confession is offered here at Nativity every Saturday from 3 to 5. Okay, so is that enough? We just ask for forgiveness, we go to confession. Is that all we need to do? Just confess and we're good, right? Well, almost. There's one more thing that can really help us move forward with God. So here's the question for today. How do we respond after we've been forgiven? How do we respond to this undeserved kindness from God? How do we pay God back? Well, let's see how most teenagers respond. Because remember, you're not alone.
I think we all have been left out before, and let's be honest, it absolutely stinks. One time my friend in middle school invited a bunch of girls over for a sleepover, except for me. In that moment, I was sad, hurt, confused, but also jealous. So all I wanted to do is make that person feel bad about leaving me out and make them feel like an awful person. Out of hurt, I started a rumor that we were no longer friends and ignored them in a very rude way. And honestly, I ended up being nastier than she ever meant to be. Simply, she could only have a few girls over, nothing more than that. Then, after the whole situation ended, I felt so entirely guilty, I still didn't feel like including that person, like for payback or something. And the funny thing was, it got to the point where we were being nasty to each other for no reason, and it just became funny. Looking back, it wasn't just a mistake I made, it was fully intentional. Jealousy and hurt can drive us to sin. You have to remember, sometimes we all worry about being included, so we end up not being as nice or including as we should be, just to feel included. It is human nature, but it is also a sin, yet everybody does it. This situation was in middle school, so it was immature and stupid, and frankly, I wish I just said sorry and confessed my sins from the beginning to avoid all the extra trouble. How are we to pay back God when we sin and when He forgives us?
So how does God want us to respond? How does God want us to repay Him? Well, first of all, God needs no repayment from us at all. What He wants is for us to draw near to Him. What He wants is for us to be obedient and to leave our sin behind. At the Last Supper, Jesus models what to do when we've been forgiven. Jesus washes the feet of the disciples and then gives them their final command. Now, feet washing was the lowliest task for people in that society. The servants washed their master's feet every day when they came in from the desert. It was a disgusting job. Can you imagine washing your dad's feet every day when he came home from work? Or your brother's feet after soccer or football practice? Ew. But Jesus does it anyway, to serve His friends and to show them what real love and service looks like. In John chapter 13, it says, "When He had finished washing their feet, He put on His clothes and returned to His place." "Do you understand what I have done for you?" Jesus asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you." Okay, so you've been forgiven. You don't just get to walk out of here feeling all good about yourself. You have a job to do too. Here's what else Jesus said. "A new command I give you. Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." So, how do we respond to being forgiven?
It is important when responding to forgiveness to love others. Knowing that everyone sins and makes mistakes should help you love unconditionally and not judge others by a single choice they made. By loving the people around you and accepting who they are, they will do the same to you. And back to my middle school situation. I wish I had just loved others and remembered the core reason why I was hurt in the first place, because I loved and cared about my friend. Also, making people feel like they're not alone and comforting them in these tough, vulnerable situations. And secondly, do better next time. After confession and forgiveness, learn from your mistakes and forgive others of their sins. Remember, once you forgive, you can redirect your time and energy that was once used up by stubbornness and unforgiveness into more positive areas of your life that will be more peaceful and rewarding. So, how do we respond to forgiveness? 2 things: love and forgive others, and avoid that sin in the future.